basketball. And like I said, guys, what they're telling me is that we went 8-0 in our leans yesterday. So not that it means much because they're just leans. But hey, not too bad. Blind squirrel finds a nut. But let's go ahead and start with Marquette at Seton Hall. Little conference matchup here. 6:30 tip-off tonight. Marquette open -1.5. Total open 145. We're seeing a little movement on this game. Movement toward the over, movement toward Marquette. Marquette's now -2. Total moved up to 146. So once again, the Golden Eagles of Marquette open 1.5 up to -2. Total open 145 up to 146. 68% of the consensus is leaning toward Marquette. 75% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. Now the Golden Eagles of Marquette, they rank second in the country in road three-point shooting. They also rank 9th in the nation in road field goal percentage. They're shooting 49% in that category there. They're obviously being led by Marcus Howard, who's scoring 26 points per contest on average. Sam Hauser's behind him at 15 points per contest. Hauser's also bringing down 7 rebounds a game. So 1-2 punch there, Marcus Howard and big Sam Hauser. Marquette's also covering 80% of their games as the official road favorite. They're 10-2 against the number, taking on teams between 500 and 650. That's a win percentage, by the way. Now, Seton Hall on the other side, not so good against the number. They've covered just 3 out of 13 games on their home court. They rank 168th in home points allowed. They're also 224th in home defensive rebounding. They can't buy a rebound. Now, total-wise, Seton Hall is giving up 72 points per contest. This Marquette offense is putting up 78 points per contest away from home, so they're scoring nearly 80 points a game on average when traveling. Give me Marquette -2 in the over 146 in that matchup there. All right, next game, talking about LSU at Florida. I'm excited for this one. This should be a good game. Good game on paper, at least. 7 o'clock tip-off for tonight's action here. The Gators open -1. Total open 137. And since those markets opened this one up, I'm not really surprised that we've seen a fade of Florida. We have seen a little bit of movement upward on the total as well. That number moved up to 137.5, but we're down to a good old-fashioned pick'em contest as we've seen a 1-point fade of the Gators. So once again, Florida open -1, down to a pick'em contest. Total open 137 up to 137.5. 67% are leaning LSU, 63% shaded toward the over. Now the Florida Gators, they've been pretty good as of late. 5-1 straight up in their last 6. 7-3 straight up in their last 10. Taking on LSU. I think that's right. You guys might have to double check that because I have Florida going 7-3 straight up in their last 10 versus Florida. Double check that. I think they are 7-3 straight up in their last 10 against LSU. Don't quote me on that. But they are 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games. And they are being led by Kayvon Allen, who's dropping 13 points per contest. Noah Locke's right behind him with 10 points a game. This UF defense is allowing just 63 points per game. Just defensively, very, very sound. Now, LSU on their side of things, terrible from beyond the arc. They're ranked 235th in three-point shooting. They're 224th in home defensive rebounding. And their defense is giving up 76 points per contest on the road. Now, total-wise, LSU is 7-2 to the over, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Florida's 67% to the over at home, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. All that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the home team in this matchup here. Give me the Florida Gators winning this one outright in the over 137.5 in this matchup here. All right, next game. I'm talking about Clemson, the Tigers, at Notre Dame. 9 o'clock tip-off for Wednesday night's action. Clemson opened 2.5, total open 130 and a hook. And since that one opened up, we're seeing money towards Clemson and the over. Right now, Clemson's -3, total 131. So once again, the Tigers open 2.5 up to -3, total open 130.5 up to 131. 68% are leaning Clemson, 60% shaded toward the over. Clemson is 7-3 against the number in their last 10. They rank 9th in road defensive rebounding. Clemson's led by Marquise Reed, who's scoring 19 points per contest. he's bringing down 5 rebounds a game. They're also being led by Elijah Thomas, who's scoring 13 points per contest on average. He's bringing down 8 boards a game on average as well. This Clemson defense is giving up just 64 points per contest. That ranks 22nd in college basketball. Now Notre Dame, they rank 261st in offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting just 39% from the field. Horrible. They're also 0-5 against the spread as the official home dog this year. Now, scoring-wise, Clemson is 67% to the over, taking on teams averaging 67 to 72 points per contest. Give me the Tigers of Clemson -3 in the over 131 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. It's going to be Oregon-Washington State. Given the West Coast some love, we don't see a whole lot of West Coast action on this program, so especially with Gonzaga, just because their point spreads are 15 to 20 points a game. But wanted to take a look at this one here since the West Coast doesn't get a whole lot of love. But anyway, Oregon at Washington State, 11 o'clock tip-off at Washington State. Oregon opened the betting as the 6-point favorite, total 142.5. We're seeing pretty good movement on both the spread and the total in this matchup here. We're seeing movement toward Oregon. We're seeing movement toward the under. That line moved down to 142. Oregon now -7. So the Ducks open -6, up to -7. Total open 142.5, down to 142 even. 54% leaning toward Oregon, 61% shaded toward the over. If you like Oregon in the spot here, you may want to listen up, because Washington State is 4-3 against the number in their last 7, but they're also 9-5 ATS on their home court. They're led by Robert Franks, who's scoring 22 points per contest. He's also bringing down 7 rebounds a game. CJ Ellaby is right behind him with 15 points per game he's averaging. Meanwhile, Oregon just hasn't been able to score. They rank 248th in road offensive scoring. They're averaging 61 points per contest in that category there. Just absolutely anemic. They also rank 247th in field goal percentage. They're shooting just 39% from the field. Now, total-wise, Washington State is 13-5 to the over on their home court. I'm going to lean toward a little home dog in this matchup here. Give me Washington State +7 in the over 142 in that matchup there. All right, next and final slate for the show, it is going to be in the NBA. And when it comes to the NBA, we got ourselves a really nice slate of games tonight. So let's go ahead and begin with the Mavericks at the Wizards, 7 o'clock tip-off in the nation's capital. Washington opened the betting as the 6-point favorite. Total open 232. And since that one opened up, we're seeing movement on both the spread and the total. We're seeing movement toward Dallas. We're also seeing movement toward the under. That line moved down to 231.5. Washington's now just 5.5. So once again, Washington opened 6, down to -5.5. Total open 232, down to 231.5. 63% of the consensus is leaning toward Washington, and at the moment, Dallas is +180 for some money line cash. Now, when it comes to the Mavs, Porzingis is out indefinitely, so we're not going to see him tonight. Dallas also failed to cover in 7 out of their last 8 ball games. The Mavs ranked 27th in road field goal percentage. They're shooting just 43% from the field when traveling. They also ranked 22nd in road scoring. Now, when it comes to this Washington team, they successfully covered the number in 2 out of their last 3. They're also covering 60% of their games on their home court. They're led by Bradley Beal, who's scoring 26 points per game on average. He's also bringing down 5 rebounds a game as well. This Washington offense is scoring 118 points per contest at home. That's going to put them at 4th in the NBA in that category there. Now, total-wise, Dallas is 3-0 to the under in their last 3. 6-3 to the under in their last 9. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Washington -5 in the under 231.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Timberwolves, Pistons, 7 o'clock tip-off in Detroit. The Pistons open -5, total 225. We're seeing movement toward Detroit. When it comes to the spread, we're seeing movement toward the under. When it comes to the total, both of those lines move. Total now 224, spread 5.5. So once again, the Pistons open 5 up to -5.5. Total open 225 down to 224 even.